Pronouns, and this is my channel where I play tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is Star Wars Saturdays. Star Wars Saturdays is a series I've been running since December of 2017, where I have on folks from the Gauntlet community, which is a wonderful online community of tabletop role-playing game fans, aficionados, and wild folk who sometimes even make these crazy little things we play. We mostly play story games and OSR style games, independent small book stuff. The Gauntlet is gauntlet-rpg.com. You should check it out, because what happens is every month I load up a different game into our RSVP system, and then all the folks in the community can sign up on the RSVP system that we have set up there. It's an anthology series where every month we will tell often a very different story, but sometimes we'll have characters that will kind of string in from previous stories, or there could be NPCs who reoccur, or maybe sometimes players will have characters that are family related to previous characters they played. Maybe that happens sometimes. I love it. It's great, because if Star Wars is anything, it's basically one big family thing stretched over decades, right? Just one family over and over. Anyway, this month we're playing Hutt Cartel. What's Hutt Cartel? Cartel is this game by genius designer Mark Diaz Truman of Magpie Games. Cartel is created for Mexican narco fiction, things like the Netflix series Narcos, Breaking Bad. It's a game about the drug trade and about people involved within it. It is set in Durango, Mexico, which is like the title setting for Cartel itself. It has a lot of telenovela influence. It's a really fun game. I've taken it because the word cartel and like shoved it into Star Wars as Hutt Cartel, and that is what we are playing. This is the second of 3 sessions. Rich will count with his fingers correctly soon. Second of 3 sessions, we are revisiting 3 characters and introducing a new character into our story. This is set on Coruscant, which is the Epinopolis. It's basically the city capital world of the Empire. The time setting for this is not long, like weeks to months after Emperor Palpatine died in the second Death Star over the forest moon of Endor. And the Empire is across the galaxy starting to crumble. Now, Coruscant, being the kind of the middle of the fist of the Empire, is going through some internecine fights and squabbles as they try to figure out who is going to continue running the Empire. But rest assured, friends, the Empire is still very firmly in control overall. You guys are in one of the subterranean levels. There are thousands of them underneath Coruscant that have been here for millennia. And you're on Sector 1313. That's 1,313 levels down. Many of you have not seen the sun in ages. 1313 is under control by despotic criminal organizations, and all of you are affiliated or working for a cartel that is fronted by the Hutts. Now, there are no Hutts here in Coruscant because of a little thing I threw in who are canon, saying that Palpatine, when he came into power, approached the Hutt Cartel and said, hey, you're going to do it my way here on our capital planet. The Hutts said, and then some of them were executed. So the Hutts vamoosed off to Hutt space, and they work through proxies, which is you guys. That's the setup for what we have so far. Now, let's reintroduce ourselves to the characters we had in our first session, and then Leandro will introduce their character, Anders. Good afternoon. Please introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Good afternoon. I'm Anders. I use the him pronouns. My character is Kras, a washed-up bounty hunter who has fallen in with the cartel as an assassin / enforcer kind of guy, working for.
Cool. Thank you very much, Anders. Next, we have Keith. Keith, you can introduce yourself and your character.
Keith, he, him pronouns. I'm playing Cheek Yusak. I am the cook our particular cartel, a Jawa who took the natural tinkering tendencies and amplified them, very much into the science of how it happens, not so much into the criminality, which gets a little bit squicky at times. One of those times may have been last session. And he supports his aunt, who is actually the mother of the PC we had here last week, another Jawa, who didn't do as good a job covering up the affiliation with the cartel. So Sheik definitely tries to keep that on the down low, and we'll see how long that is successful. He's also trying to get out of the cartel if possible, which hopefully he can keep from Screet.
And then last but not least, we introduce ourselves to Tyler. Tyler, introduce yourself and your character, please.
Hi there. I'm Tyler, he, him pronouns, and I am playing Skeet Maltbank, who is the drug lord of our little cartel. He is he projects this kind of urbane, calm, very high society sort of feel. But in fact, underneath it is raging anger, and he is known for being fairly violent when he has to be. He is a child of some diplomats who ran afoul of Palpatine early, and he had to run far down below, which is why the Hutts were able to recruit him to take over and be a good face for this cartel when they went out. And generally speaking, I think he is a benevolent dictator of our cartel. So I can't see why anyone would want to leave or not work with him.
Who would want to leave? Indeed. Last but not least, Leandro, welcome to the game. Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your character. I may have some questions.
Cool. Hello, my name's Leandro, use he and pronouns, and if you're wondering who Rich was calling out about the whole, hey, suddenly there's one family that's popping up in all these Star Wars Saturdays games, sorry, that's my fault, and I'm adding another one to that bunch. My character's name is Mira Sunfell. She's using the Crooked ISB agent playbook. ISB stands for the Imperial Security Bureau. So she's dirty in that regard. Her family is kind of ambitious. What would you call ill-reputed? They've spread around in different parts of Imperial society. Some of them are politicians. Some of them are CEOs of various corporations. One of them did really well in the Imperial Navy and then vanished off to some backwater, apparently. Mira is probably, at least of her generation, or at least her specific family, probably doing the best. She's the eldest. I should narrate her look. She's female, human, early 30s, tall, with watch eyes and uniform clothes. She's incredibly cynical, I guess. Probably like ends quite open about that sort of cynicism, like to the extent that like it's almost hiding in plain sight. Like, of course, she'd have ties to the cartel because she never pretended to care about the Empire and whatnot. So it's almost like daring the ISB to like, of course I do this. But I think she makes up for that by being quite good at her job. Well, being quite good at juggling when she needs to be good at her job and when she needs to service the cartel, so to speak. It says here as part of the playbooks that I work for Coruscant Security on an anti-cartel task force assigned to Sector 1313. I've been in the Imperial Security Bureau for a while, but was recently assigned to this region. And I guess this is where all the questions are going to be coming from. Well, this is where to start of these questions.
That's where they start. That's right. So the first question is, Mira and Screet know each other on a name basis. Is that correct or not correct?
I'd say probably on a name basis. I'm probably, unless something happened something was said in the previous session to contradict this, I might be their main contact with at least in the ISB.
That has not been established to leave space, so it is perfectly fine for you to be that main contact. Are you cool with that as well, Tyler? That work for you?
Yeah, and let's keep in mind my one bond question I left open. I don't know if that's going to be able to be worked in, but it was left open off the idea that you would be showing up.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I just went out, glanced up and looked at that one. Cool. All right, awesome. So we've got. I appreciate you using some of the names of NPCs that I'd thrown on my little picture board. Thank you. So Tanis and Anmai are worked into yours. You have a new partner named Anmai. Tanis is the person who's suspicious of you. Creel and Rex, what are they partnered up as well, or I'm just checking in here. How do you see them?
Oh, well, I picked up those names from the suggestions in the playbook.
Cool. Okay.
Because it says 5 NPCs. I think I'm missing one, and I think when I was writing this up, I just like, man, I'm not in the mood to come up with Star Wars names. I'll just pick from this list.
Fair enough.
Just to
That's what the list is there for.
Thanks very much. So yeah, I think they can be partners for sure, and figure out what they're like. For some reason, I'm imagining Crowd looks like Daniel Kaluuya, your lad from Get Out. That's the only thought I have. I don't know why that popped into my head, but that's what he looks like now.
Nice. I am. That sounds really cool. Daniel Kaluuya. All right, I will grab a pic of him. That is a cool looking cat. Fantastic. Excellent. So now that we have that worked out, we have some ties. Let's see if we can work them out. Now that first one usually ends up with as an NPC, so we can circle back to that one. Do you want to do the target bit one there?
Yeah. Let's see. I guess the target one. I mean, either the assassin or the cook sounds like cool. I guess it depends on what happened in the previous session. Did either... Actually, let me see. Who has the most heat? Well, it'll be Screet, but I kind of want to save Screet for like Blank is the main contact. It'll be, might be a bit much to have the Druglord as the main contact in the cartel. But that might tie in to what Skeets or Ty, which is, try to shield him from the worst. Sorry, I'm babbling a bit.
It's okay.
Target of investigation. I'm just gonna pick Crass because they seem. It makes sense, I guess, for the cartel to like start picking, or the anti-cartel task force start picking on probably the most obviously violent one.
Makes sense.
So, let's see. Let me actually read out the tie. Crass is the target of an active investigation. You're not the lead investigator, but you're regularly briefed on the case. Makes sense. I'll write that down. Oh no, tabs. Tabs, you're failing me. There we go.
An active investigation on our assassin. What a bummer. Did you say Creel was the one that was from Get Out? The actor from Get Out?
Yes.
All right, awesome. I am adding him in.
What else? Yeah, the second one is Blank is your main contact in the cartel. Tell them where you two go to meet to speak directly where you need the face-to-face meeting. Yeah. So I was gonna ask Tyra this. Screet's remaining tie-in is Blank, it's family, but you've tried to shield them from the worst of the cartel. Tell them what they know about your dealings. Do you think that would fit Mira, or I can see how it could fit. I have a vague idea of how it could, but what do you think?
Is your family from Coruscant, or was there a big block of them that were here for a while?
I think they're from Coruscant. They seem like the type.
And were they in security all this time, or were they high placed?
They're kind of a family who has a lot of people and would try to spread them out to hedge their bets.
Do you think it's
I think Mira was the one who. Go ahead.
Do you think it's possible that they were who helped me hide from Palpatine, and therefore I kind of view you and your family as friends, protectors? I have a bit of a, loyalty to them and owe a bit of a debt, and maybe you and I grew up knowing each other.
Yeah. No, I think that could totally fit.
Cool.
I think they seem like the type who would do that, probably as some sort of investment in the future, because you're the son of a diplomat.
Mm-hmm.
But that means definitely we probably grew up and we're friends.
Excellent. Family.
Nice way to work things out, guys. I like it. Let's see. Any other? You have one. We'll go ahead and read that one out. Let's see. You grew up with so and so in Sector 1313. How's that one go?
Yeah. Blank. You grew up with blank in Sector 1313. You still have a drink after work if you're both free. It's nice to know someone who is involved with either side of your double life. Yeah. Not sure about that. We might just pick a random NPC from this very colorful collection.
Thank you. That's we've built it together. I had some I threw in, and then these guys.
Oh, there's some familiar faces.
Well, it's all on Coruscant, right?
Yeah. I know we didn't see Granny Fix It in the Veil. Let's make her a tie.
Yes, Granny Fix It. Oh yeah, that's right. Good catch. It looks like Cross's ties got deleted. Uh-oh. We'll have to fix that. I'll grab those in. Cool. So while Granny Fix It, yay. I'm very happy to have Granny Fix It in as an NPC that will get screen time. We also have to do some stuff with a certain aunt, especially when the son has gone missing. That's gonna be fun. Cool.
As far as the ties with Pib Weebler, they're still fine, right? Because there's no mechanical.
There's no mechanical thing. It's just to kick us
started.
off. Yeah, okay. You don't lose out on anything. Let's see. So for Crossless, I just dropped in the ties. Let's see if we can. They're on rows 29, 30, and 31. You owe blank for getting you out of a tight spot. You won't die for them, but both know you need to settle up soon. Was that Pib? I remember we even had this conversation. You're talking on mute, by the way. There we go.
Yeah, we did. We did have the conversation. We made some notes here. I know Steve is the one who got me back into the business.
Yeah, that was Screet, right?
Yeah. Is it Steve or Screet?
Screet.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's Pib. First one. Then it was Cheek for the last.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So Cheek carked up something crucial. You had to clean up the mess before things got messy and with Corsec or a rival drug cartel.
I'm not sure I ever put them in last time. That's probably why they're.
Oh, okay. No worries. We've got it in there now. We did talk it through. I do remember that conversation. So, good. So there's a mention in chat. Did we do XP? And as I look, I don't see XP marked for anybody. So we should definitely have that brief conversation. Keys are the way that it works. Let's take a look. We'll start going from right to left, skipping Mira because you weren't here. So, Screet, you get XP for personally tackling a messy problem instead of sending goons. Yes, you 100% did that. And Paranoia, you mark XP when you try to get the truth out of someone about their true loyalties. Yes. It was like perfectly, exactly what you do. So, Cheek, debt. Mark XP when you strain your finances to meet your family's immediate needs. I don't think you had the opportunity to do that. No. Paranoia. Mark XP when you try to get the truth out of someone about their true loyalties.
I was trying to get to that with Pib, but I don't know if we managed to get there before.
Well, since we're not going to see Pib again, I'm going to give you the XP. We'll just call it close enough. There was a scene that ended up on the cutting room floor of our movie, and it's where you paid off, and so you get the XP. Get up here, buddy. Sorry, dog.
It's like, are you talking to me?
I was like, he kept trying to get up, and I'm just like, just get up here. All right. And so let's go to Crush. Indomitable. Mark XP when you go into battle significantly outgunned or outmanned. I think rolling up on Ruvu like you did, I'll give you an XP for that one. And then Duty. Mark XP when you complete a task or assignment for your superiors. Screet, where you... it's Skeet, isn't it?
It's Screet.
Oh, because it says Skeet on your Zoom ID.
Oh, I got you. That's me screwing up. It's right on the character keeper.
Okay. That's what I thought it was until I looked down on Zoom, and that's when I changed. All right, cool. So are you satisfied? Basically, would you give a smiley face or a frowny face for Crosh's beating up a roof? Okay. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Cool. Oh, he hears mommy. He's freaking out now. He's gonna go beg at the door because she's leaving. All right. Good. So we worked out our XP. We got all of that worked. So what are the two keys that you chose for Mira, Leandro?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm on the wrong tab. I've got let me look at the tab. All right. I've got schemes, or as I should call it, schemes. I can say this, I live in Ireland. Mark XP when you play two sides against each other without their knowledge. Clear this key in advance when you openly choose one of your loyalties over the other. Yeah, I love to put my characters in places where I have to make hard decisions. It's my main hobby. And my second one is debt. Mark XP when you strain your finances to meet your family's immediate needs. Clear this key in advance when you find a way. Legal or illegal out from under your debtor's thumb. That's oh god. Oh, lovely.
It's great. Love it. Good work, everybody. So at the top, Anders and I had a brief conversation. He's well aware of it, just to make sure everybody else is aware. Crush is stressed out. He is at 5 stress, and that is where we will be leading off with Crush in his scene. We've got some opening session moves to do. Let's start with our newest player because the Crooked ISB agent has a cool thing. So, infiltration at the start of session, roll with grit. On a hit, you get wind of an investigation before things get messy.
All right, do that roll. Ooh, that's a 9. A solid 9.
Good. On a 7 to 9, on a hit, on a 10 plus, sorry. On a hit, you get wind of investigation before things get messy. On a 10, you get lots of access on a miss, blah, blah, blah. So you get wind and investigation before things get messy. That sounds good. We'll set you up with a thing. I'm just going to roll over to our Druglord at the beginning of session. Roll with control.
Alrighty. I'm rolling with control. I rolled a 7. What is my control? My control is... Oh, I got to look at the... Sorry, that's on the plaster sheet, isn't it?
It is, although we can stick it there with your other stats if you want.
My control is plus... Looks like plus 2.
That sounds sounds the way I remember it. Yeah, because you have the Hawks and you have the few Hawks keeping you informed, so 2.
Yes. So, that's a 9.
Okay, a 9 is a good roll. Yeah.
It's not a bad roll.
On a 7 to 9, so on a hit, you get an opportunity to engage one of your troubles, your choice. Last time you went after your mole. And on a hit, you get an opportunity to engage it. On a 7 to 9, the opportunity is short-lived and risky. What, Keith's not wrong. What is the trouble you would like to engage?
I think the trouble I'd like to engage is, I think, our gang war.
All right, that sounds fun. Good stuff. And then we move to Cheek. So if you're fully stocked in cooking at the start of session, roll with grit. And if you get a hit, you can cover obligations. You've already got a little bit of extra from before, but we're going to say that you kind of ended up moving that as we shake out the results of from before. Pibweebler takes the extra that you had and takes it off to sell it. So
Put the money towards your mother, you filthy animal.
What? Yes, of course.
No, it never happened. It went right up his proboscis. I got an 8. So that's also good for Rich. Cover my nut, but I have to mark stress or use up the last of something vital. And we did say, if I can find my lab, it needs uncommon chemicals. It is prone to shortages, so I think that works out pretty well. One of the chemicals I rely on is now out, and my high-quality wasted cannot be produced until I get some more.
So this is the last batch you're going to be able to make for a while.
Yeah, I could still make the junk if I was willing to, but
okay, why would you do that though?
It's not likely.
I mean, it would ruin the product and wouldn't sell.
We have branding. I came up with a name for it. The street name is Darth Jawa. That's what they're called. I have standards to uphold.
That's the best. Darth Jawa. Cool. All right, you guys are just like putting bullets in my gun. I adore this. It's so good. Crush. After this big fight with Ruvu, where you not only defeated her in the cantina, you also shamed her. Setsu Sho Cantina, they all saw that big nasty fight. But it's gotten to you, right? Not that you're stressed about beating up a Wookiee who talked a lot of smack to you, but just generally, you're stressed out. There are stress moves. There are lots of ways that you can get rid of that stress. What is the way that Crush handles his stress?
Yeah, I had a look at them, and the one I'd be good at is dish out a beatdown, but that doesn't feel right for this situation. I
Fair
think
enough.
it's more like celebrating, so going on a bender, basically. So lose yourself in a substance seems more appropriate.
Awesome. So I unfortunately have to NPC Pibweebler, like top 10 best Jawas, but that's Devin. He's amazing. But yeah, I think you go out with Pib and Pib's little gang, right? Because we'd already established that you guys went out and partied together. So they met up. If you remember, gotta find her. Where is it? Was it Diz? Yeah, Diz. Diz finally meets up with you guys after the whole thing with Orak, Pib, and Krazo. Although you guys left Orak back behind, right? So you haven't.
One of them was covering.
Krazo. Krazo got left behind, right?
Yeah.
Because Orak was still talking to you guys. Good. So, yeah, Krazo, you guys aren't sure where he is, but I mean, he'll show up. He's Jawa, right? They're hard to put down. I mean, Mando only took out a few, so obviously they're tough. Let's see. You guys would probably end up going to Viscosity, which is this little neon-colored dive bar that's currently run by Well, it used to be run by a girl and her droid, but nobody's seen her in a while. So I think now it's run by a Bothan by the name of Thane. And Thane will hook you guys up to where you can go. You can lose yourself in a substance. So let's see you do that. You lose yourself in a substance, roll with grit. Now, we do need to figure out which substance you're using. Spice, some of your famous Waste It that the cartel deals a lot of. Slick, intoxicant liquids like alcohol. Which of those do you think you would use, Crush?
I think Crush is just going for the booze. He's a drinker.
Sounds good. Okay. When you lose yourself in a substance, roll with grit. On a hit, you clear your stress track. On a 7 to 9, bye. 7 to 9, drugs take a toll. You have to make a drug move. You'll use the moves for intoxicant liquids, which is on column E of our basic stress and drug moves. And on a miss, you're in deep. May the force be with you. Yeah.
Okay, let's see if I'm doing this right. The roll.
Yeah, you rolled a 4 and a 5. What's your grit?
Let's see, I think it's plus.
Looks like you got a 1.
Yeah. So
that is a 10.
Rush is rolling great.
That's perfect. You do not have to make a drug move off the list. Now, for intoxicant liquids, it's like stuff like tell somebody what you think loudly in public, let slip something to the wrong person, wreck something meaningful carelessly. None of those are moves you have to make. You go out with the Jawas and you guys get drunk, tossing back pan-galactic gargle blasters, Alderani ale. I think that Diz would be smoking some death sticks because she's crazy like that. And it is a good old time at Viscosity. As you are doing that, we slip back to Mira. So Mira Sunfell, you are at the station house for 1313. It is technically the Coruscant security main department for Sector 1313. However, there's an entire floor dedicated to the Imperial Security Bureau, of which you are a member of that specific task force, the gang task force, that's part of the ISB. And that's where you have the other NPCs. I've stuck them on, I stuck Rex up on G right beside Amai and Tanis in the NPCs and places, and then the picture for Krill is down on row 23 because that's a really cool picture of that actor. And I may actually just grab Ruvu, move her down, and swap stuff out later, but I should not focus on pictures when I'm running a game, so I'm not going to do that. I'm saying that out loud so that I won't go sneak and do that in just a minute. No, the temptation is strong, friends. Your new partner is Anmai, right?
Yes. I think I specifically
I'm gonna stick
her
that in
because
her.
I thought she looked cool.
So tell me about Anmai. What is the thing that you grudgingly admire about Anmai's dedication or her work ethic or something that she brings to the table here at the ISB?
Her work ethic never, or actually other way around. She has quite a joie de vivre about her that never gets in the way of her work ethic. It's a feat of compartmentalization that Mira can't help but be jealous of. For sure. Like Amai never seems like she's bothered by what she does. She keeps work and play carefully segregated in a way that Mira can only just be cynical and be snarky about.
Nice. So Amai, she keeps her work life and her home life separate. She's got that good work-life balance going on. Is she somebody that just recently transferred to 1313, or is she fresh out of the academy?
Ooh, I think feels more like she's fresh out of the academy. It kind of feels like she still has this. She has this segregation working because she's not probably the most experienced. Like she's not. Her boots aren't that scuffed yet. So I'll probably modify that. So it's a mix of jealousy and admiration, and also pity in Mira-san. Like, oh, kid, you're gonna. Good luck to you.
Nice.
Oh, it could be better. I don't know. Emperor's gone. Who knows what's happening out there in the streets now?
Cool. So, Anmai comes in to. Sorry, one last little question, just kind of our mental frame up. Do you imagine that Mira has her own like little office, or is it more like a bullpen where everybody has these little desks with data pads and entry data ports and stuff, and you're kind of all of the ISB is there where you're in visual range of each other, like little cubicles with super low walls?
Yeah, I think Mira is on the cusp of getting her own office, but she's not there. Maybe another year, or maybe another big break or so. But yeah, I'm imagining this sort of like bullpen. Now I have to imagine a bullpen in a Star Wars universe. What are you doing, Rich?
I know. It's crazy. Who even knew that's what it works? So on hit, you get wind of an investigation before things get messy. Here's how it works. Anmai comes over with, she's got a cup of clava for herself, like, a little dark, bitter liquid, like a coffee, space coffee, Coveffe kind of thing. And she's got another cup of clava that she puts on your desk. Do you have it with like cream or sweetener or anything, or just have it?
Oh, it's as dark as it could be.
Okay, cool. So it's bitter black, and she puts it on your desk. We see the little steam kind of waft up, and it's coarse, right? It's got like the Imperial symbol on the coffee cup, right? And hers is like it says, "You don't have to be Sith to work here, but it helps." No, I'm joking. It doesn't say that.
I was gonna say, like, that throws up some. Wait, do they know about Sith?
No, sorry, that was bad. So no,
I'm gonna start quizzing you.
I know, right?
Stuff like that.
So she says, "Hey, Mira,
you don't have to whisper on my word work."
Okay, yeah, right, but like, they just brought in a security droid that shot up a place, and they're gonna crack him open and ask some questions. Sounds pretty juicy. He had a blaster carbine. He was shooting in a bunch of Jawa. I thought maybe, we could get in on that. I mean, Coruscant brought him in, but we could trump it maybe. I mean, it sounds cool, right?
Okay, first off, we shouldn't just get into an investigation just because it sounds cool. What's the concrete facts? So we have this droid shot up a place, apparently. What exactly will mark it as unusual, worth our time investigating, Anmai?
Well, so I was looking over your notes, and I know that the investigation you're working on about that assassin, that Trandoshan, is that he hangs out with a bunch of Jawa. So I thought security droid, and this droid might have some ties to the Pike Syndicate. And if he shot a bunch of Jawa, maybe this would be some kind of turf war or something.
Well, I guess we wouldn't want a turf war to be happening around our parts, do we? I think Mira will take the cup of, I already forgot the name, it's space coffee, and down half of it in one go. It's surprising. I don't know how she does it. She does it in one go and stands up and starts. All right, let's see about this droid of yours, Anmai.
Cool. So she excitedly leads you down to the holding cell, where it's one of those. I mean, I'm just totally going to say it looks like the holding cell the Princess Leia was in, right? So, it's got the kind of down in and then the single level thing. And you see that there is a restraining bolt on a security droid. If you look in the NPCs, he's directly under the word NPCs. It's E631 is the designation of this security droid. The readout is that he has significant, not gendered, but I just gendered him, it has significant security modifications and upgrades. Yeah, it is not registered with any of the mercenary guilds. It is not registered with the bounty hunter guild, and it does not have any registered owner. So it's free and clear. You can do whatever you want to this droid. It has no rights whatsoever.
That brings up the further question of, do droids have rights? But let's not go there. Yeah, I think Mira's just gonna enter the holding cell. And I think she's probably looking at a data pad, the equivalent of a clipboard, and it's just going through the details like E631, multiple security modifications, no license to any merchants guild, no license to any owner, just a free and clear droid shooting up a public place, is it?
I would like to speak to an advisor.
What makes you think you have the right to an advisor?
I would like to speak to a security advisor.
E631. You may well want to speak to a security advisor, but as where you stand right now, we could practically do whatever we want to. In fact, we might just chisel into your brain and figure out exactly why you're doing what you're doing, but I'm giving you the chance to do it of your own free will. Would you care to take that chance?
Trying to get the truth out of someone?
Yeah.
If so, why don't you roll with hustle?
How is my hustle? Oh, my hustle's pretty good.
Don't forget, you start with 2 stress. You already got it marked. Good, perfect.
Yeah.
On a hit, you get to actually clear a stress when you get the truth out of somebody.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's an 8.
Okay, on a hit, you clear 1 stress, so that's good. This is the wild one. This is one of my favorite moves of Cartel.
Yeah, I'm looking at these choices.
Yeah.
Come on.
So you get to pick one of those.
Oh, gosh. Since they're a droid, I don't want to pick the latter one, so I'm going to pick, like, they can't confuse me with falsehoods.
Okay.
All right, clear 1 stress.
Says, if you will allow me to speak to my legal advisor, I will tell you what I was doing in the plaza.
It always makes me smile to get some cooperation with our suspects. Mira's not smiling. Fine. Give me the details now, and that'll get you a chance to speak to your security advisor. So, open fire on Jawas in a public place?
One of the Jawas had a cantona of wasted. An entire cantona.
An entire... You have to tell me what a cantona is.
Oh, it's okay. Sorry. I'm stealing from the Mandalorian. It's like this much. It is a lot. It's a giant cooler full of drugs.
We don't have Disney Plus here till March, Rich. I don't know. I've not seen the Mandalorian.
The worst, and I'm sorry. And cantona is a buttload of wasted. That is a lot of wasted. Like wasted to me, I'm imagining, and Keith, you're playing the cook, so you tell me if otherwise, but I'm imagining like a little vial of it is what you would sell it in. So having a cantona full of that is like many doses of wasted. Thousands of credits.
I get that. So where did these Jawas go once you decide to shoot them up?
One Jawa used an ion blaster on me and escaped after the others had already left. That is how I was captured.
Did you happen to know who these Jawas were, or were you just strolling around and happened to see them hauling waste and decided, hey, it's open season, anyone dealing that openly?
I was aware that one of them was carrying a great deal of wasted. There was someone who pointed me towards them.
Can I give you a name? I'll give you a choice, either the Jawa or whoever pointed you to that Jawa.
And that's when Anmai leans into your ear and says, we should like rip off his carapace and like, I don't know, we just mess him up.
God.
You can't hold out on this. This is a stupid droid.
I think Mira will turn to Anmai and say, like, that's a solid suggestion, Anmai, but I ask that in face of a suspect, let's not try to start getting in each other's way while in the middle of interrogation. It's not good form.
Now, you could, if you wanted, actually kind of shame her here, or is it just a gentle prod back on you?
It's a gentle prod. I'm not shaming her. It's more
so
like
Miro's not going after her for this. He's just
no. It's more like a come on. We're in the middle of a job here. We're doing something here. Mira's not out to shame on my.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah. So Anmai will say, okay. I just feel like we could save some time, but play it your way, of course.
It's good practice. There are times when you have to talk to folks who you can't just tear open and read out their their readouts.
After I've spoken with my legal advisor, I will tell you the person who sent me after the Jawa.
That sounds capital. See? A little bit of gentle conversation soothes the mind, right? E631, and I think I even tapped his head with the data pad.
Cool. E631 will just its shoulders relax a little bit, and it seems perfectly happy to wait.
Yeah, I think I'll turn to Anmai and say, like, all right, get it its legal advisor, so to speak. I have some contacts that I need to be looking into.
Okay. Sorry if you hear a weird noise in the background. My chihuahua is very sad that my wife has left and he is howling for her. So, and it makes my son crack up because he sounds very goofy. So you may hear like a that is the chihuahua, and I it makes me snicker a little bit. I'm sorry. I'll go back in. Yeah, Cartel. Awesome. We're gonna cut away from you as Anmai will leave, which she's leaving you alone with E631. She leaves to go get the legal advisor. We'll cut away. You tell me if when we cut back, if it's just the two of you alone or if we jump past that and you're satisfied with what you got. So let's jump to Cheek. So Cheek, you've just finished up another supply of wasted. Here's the thing. If you remember, Pip Weebler had said you're going to have to move even though you've got this super secure, hard to find thing, that because this droid came after you at the Blue Milk restaurant, you're going to have to move your whole operation. Or I assured you that he's got a cousin who has a nice speeder truck, the food truck that you could set up in. But yeah, so how you went back, you cooked a little bit more, you realize you're out of, we'll say it's like a chemical compound, some kind of accelerant that really gives that last kick to the waist to take the next level. It's not Darth Jawa unless you have that accelerant. But yeah, so you finish up your next Camtono. You could probably have it shipped off. You've been cooking for a little bit longer. You got back into work. What do you do?
How far are we from the last time? Like this was a few days, or
I think I'm going to say a few days have passed.
Okay, so Pib went out with Cross and has disappeared, right?
Yeah.
So he's probably my main contact from the cartel, and he's the only one that mentioned that I was going to have to move. And I believe he said it was under Screet's orders. At least he said that. I have no idea if it's true because I have heard it secondhand from one of the least reliable people that I know. So the plan was definitely, until they say it 2 or 3 times, I'm going to pretend like I didn't understand and go back to the lab that I like and my comfort area. But if it's been a few days, like now I am starting to get nervous. And I think actually probably I need to go talk to my aunt to see if she has heard from him.
Yeah, because she's his
any news
mom.
on Pib. Yeah.
Perfect.
Trying to remember her name though. Tobin.
So you lock up or leave behind your really cool setup there and head off to the. I'm imagining that the apartments where Tobin lives are all like really tight, like studio apartments. And do you have an idea what Tobin does? Because she's got to have some kind of meager employment, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the Coruscant equivalent would be, but I'm picturing like in the 1950s, it would be like mending other people's clothing, odd jobs, and stuff like that. I don't know.
She works on the little bit of odd job stuff. She does things. Maybe it's all her work is in barter. Like she hardly ever sees credits, right? There's just people within this apartment complex. She does little things like that. She's almost like the what is it? Like the fix-it person for the apartment in a way.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Shoot, there's a term for them. I'm
Super?
sorry, my dogs. Super, like a super. Yeah. So you come to visit her, and you see that she has a little sign in basic written on the front. It's like in apartment 24B, right? And then when you head over that way, you see that there is a Rhodian there, and she is currently working on like rewiring something. And she finishes up, and Tobin comes and, oh, cheek, and she comes up and does the kind of the Jawa huggy thing there, and then the two of you leave, and the Rhodian is like checking the switch to make sure the electricity works okay, and she closes the door.
Auntie, are they treating you well?
Yes, always well. Always have work to do. So much work to do. Stay busy. Very busy. I'm always busy. How are you, Cheek? Have you eaten? You should come eat.
I would love to. I brought some groceries actually. I got your favorite.
Oh, I had a bone broth, but new groceries would be good.
And I'm imagining that's kind of how I sneak finances to her. Like sometimes it is just the groceries, and sometimes like there's a can with credits in it or something worked in there. Because
anything ostentatious, she'd refuse right out. But of stuff that you can slide in, and it's hard to tell if it's a thing where it's her pride or she doesn't want anyone to see her getting credits, anything like that. But yeah, so you head into her little place, and she's retrofitted this entire apartment for Jawa sized stuff, right? That Erodian thing was human sized, and this is like all the tables are low, all the counter is low, the oven is lower, and everything like that. And you can smell the bone broth is on this like pot that's been sitting there stewing for days, and you get all the groceries in, and she starts organizing everything and put them in her little cupboard, and she says, have you seen my son?
Not for a few days. I was actually thinking it'd be nice to have a family meal together, but he hasn't responded to any of my communications.
That's not good. Not good.
Well, Sometimes, you know, he can get a little let loose and run off around.
Yes, I know. He is trouble.
Surely
He's
nothing
so
to worry
much
about.
trouble. I wish I had a good son like you.
Oh well, you're like a mother to me, Auntie. And I know Pib feels just as tenderly toward you as I do. He's just so busy with his work. I think she probably knows what he does, so that might not be like
Might not be a good excuse.
good reference. Yeah.
Jesus. Oh.
He said he wanted to give you some money to help with the rent.
I have not seen that money. I think he is out with Diz and Krazo and Orak again.
And I'm picturing the internal monologue versus what I'm saying. Like, gosh, I wish that were the case. And as I'm saying, nothing to worry about, going, oh, crap. I'm going to have to ask Screech. I'm thinking he's gotten kidnapped because he was talking about me getting kidnapped, and now he's gone. The Pike Syndicate is around. So, of course, I don't know that his aunt is the one that he would go to, even if he were run to ground.
No, no, you definitely wouldn't go to her.
Actually, let me make sure. I don't know the moves well enough if I'm doing any moves with her. Probably not.
I mean, I think I'm about to like turn things a little bit
Oh,
and
okay.
say, Cheek, what is it? I know you are a scientist, but I do not know what science there is on 1313. What is it that you do? Perhaps Pip could work for you. Be an assistant. When he is focused, he can be very smart. He's also quite clever at procuring things. If you needed things, what is it you do?
That bone broth smells amazing.
Yeah, sounds like you're trying to maybe justify your behavior a little bit.
I'm trying to ignore the question, but that's where it would end.
Yeah, kind of that too.
Face, eh? That's probably not good. Oh, this all right. It all falls apart. Yeah, that's a 4.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
So I'm not sure what your side of that looks like, but I imagine that it's like, because I'm not super socially competent, that it's me trying to like say what I do without giving it the name, but I'm doing an unfortunately good job of describing exactly what it is.
Jesus. Oh, that is very dangerous. We are Jawa. We steal. We do not destroy.
No. I'm perfectly safe. I have nothing to do with what Pib was doing. It's just science. It's chemical reactions. You should see the secondary reification unit I have installed in my lab. It's a thing of beauty. It's tied right into the ventilation system from the meat market next door. It vents all the odors, and it's twice as efficient as it's. No one is forcing them to buy it.
Yes, I understand. Why can Pib not join you then? If it is so good, why is my son not part of this?
You know that he is.
But he is doing the dangerous part.
He is. And I'm worried that it might have caught up to him, but I promise I will find him. I mean, Not me. I won't be in danger, but I know people. They can help. They will look out for him.
That is all I can ask of you, my nephew.
I'll find a way. I'll find him, and then we'll find a way for us both to get out. I'm not sure how. I don't know if we can stay on 1313 if that's the case, but
I understand. I've heard that there's a lot of opportunity on Navarro. Perhaps we could go there.
that would be marvelous.
Find my son for me. Will you, Cheek? You are such a good Jawa.
Oh, that Jawa guilt.
And I think I'm giving you a stress.
You just love to give me the stress.
I know, I do. I love it. It's amazing. Screet Montbank. You want to deal with this gang war.
I do.
You
I
do.
do indeed.
Now, the reason that you have this opportunity is that you received a comm. You received a comm from Diz, of all people.
From Diz.
Yeah. Diz informing you that she and the rest of Pibweebler's crew are pinned down, that there is a hit team that Core Pike has sent after them. They have the Camtono of Wasted, right? Because they're dealing it. They've only moved a little bit of that. And she says, and I know Oryx said that we should put it in a safe place, but I felt the safest place was moving around with us. You know, we have the speeder we've been working on in the alley. We just kind of kept it there, but then the speeder doesn't exactly work. Like it kind of works, but it doesn't exactly work. So when they came in on us, we had to run. And we've been carrying the Camtono, but if they take us down, that's not good. So we
Where
are hiding.
are you?
Oh yes, of course. We're near the docking bay. You know, the big hole that goes up to the. We're hiding out there in one of the warehouses. I'll drop a pin on our comm link. Just come find us, okay, Screet? You can hand all this over, and you could kill all of their enforcers. It's the perfect plan.
Yes, of course.
In the background, you hear, "Did you tell him?" Oryx has his ion cannon.
Remind me, was it Diz that I had my people following because Diz had run out of that bar? I know one of the Jawa was not present.
Yeah, it was Diz who was at the cantina when the rest of the gang was doing their thing, and she gave, if you remember, it was Fantoon Treacherous, the Duros who you had following, and she gave them the slip.
I see. Well, I will, say, yes, drop me the ping. We will be there to extract you shortly.
Awesome. So she does that. And yeah, your hackles are raised because this just smells like a setup.
Yes, it does. And I have a few plans in my mind here, so I do want to send a message to Diego.
Okay, your new Alderani fixer who is working for you very happily because he's alive.
Yes. And do I can imagine this is off camera, but I would have found out, is it Shima, I believe, is the Pike consort advisor that he was meeting with.
Mm-hmm.
Does she give the place they meet, or does he say, I have information, meet me here?
Wait, so many pronouns. I got
I'm
lost
sorry.
there.
Does Diego receive from her the meet me here, this is where we're going to talk, or does he send word to her saying,
Gotcha.
I have
she
information?
comes to him. She comes to him, or she sets a location.
She sets the location almost every time.
Yes.
All right. So I've got word out that as soon as she sets one, he's to tell me immediately.
Okay.
So if that's out there, that's out there.
That's out there. Absolutely. No problems.
And I'm guessing has names. I'm so terrible. I'm a horrible person. Cross. Has Cross come back? I mean, you were all partying with these Jawa. Did you come back from that?
I think just for fun and timing, let's have him there, right? I want you to be able to interact with him. So 2 PCs get to interact together. It's crazy, I know, but yeah, he's back.
All right. So I will get off, the comm and looking at the ping, see that it is where she said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cross. It would seem that our little friends have gotten themselves into trouble. But I'm not entirely sure that things are as they seem. I think that one of them is trying to betray us.
One of the Jawas?
Yes, you're friendly with them. Diz. Do you trust her?
She's a Jawa.
So no. We have not seen them in some time, and they have quite a bit of our merchandise. I think it's important that we retrieve it, but I am worried that we may be walking into an ambush. Your particular skills could be invaluable in this. Do you feel like a fight, my friend?
Always.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to fight the Jawas unless I have to, but if I have to, I will do it.
It is my hope that it is one bad apple in the barrel and not the entirety. I'm rather fond of Pib. We must be cautious. We will send the gang, and if you are willing, you and I will observe to make sure that this is not the ambush I fear it is. Is this agreeable to you, my friend?
Sure thing, boss.
Excellent. And so, Rich, I'm going to try and get the gang there to do this extraction, but I'm hedging bets. So I'm going to have me and some of my better boys out there ready for this to go down badly.
All right, big shot. And you order your enforcers or agents to solve a problem on your behalf, roll with face.
Yes. And my boys do have military training. So I don't know, do you think this is me setting up a counter ambush?
I think so. Right? Like, if it's legit, that's what you're after.
Right. Okay. So that gives me a +1 on that. And with my face, takes it to a +3. And that's a 13.
Wow. So what happens on a 10 plus with this move, huh?
I get all 3 of they go to solve my problem on my behalf. They keep their wits in focus. They minimize incriminating evidence, and they avoid collateral damage.
Wow, that sounds pretty amazing. Cool. So you send them off to go do their thing. Krosh is staying with you. Cheek, you were headed off to see Screed, weren't you? Yeah,
Yeah, it makes sense. I was thinking I could call, but I would like to get in on whatever's happening.
Yeah, 3 PCs in the same freaking room. This is the best. So your guys have all taken off. Curious, Screed, what about your home life? Do you have servants at your abode? Do you have you have your bodyguards, but you kind of sent them off to do this thing, right? So
Well, I have the bodyguards, my couple of bodyguards with Cross and I.
okay,
The gang itself is going off to handle stuff, and there is a home, and I've left it vague. I don't know. I don't know if I'm married and have kids or anything. It seems like more of a well, I don't know. If you want to screw with something, then yeah, sure, I could have.
I'm not asking necessarily to screw it as much as just like, what is his home life like? Is he all plaza all the time? You know, does he try to maintain a public persona?
Yeah, I try and keep that, that Don Corleone sort of walking through the plazas sort of thing, and the nice place to live. I throw parties for what serves as the elite of 1313, which I imagine is not very elitish, but it's nice. I do have servants because I'm pretty rich.
Cool. And just correct me if I'm wrong. I just want to make sure I understand. It looks like if you're using the military trained enforcers, then that would be your 5 to 10 loyal enforcers, your gang, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're probably out there doing the thing, which is fine. I'm not trying to make you weak. I'm just trying to figure out like who's there. Awesome. You are at your abode when one of your servants informs you that a certain Jawa has come to see you.
Okay. So the gang's going to do the extraction. I'm getting ready with Cross so that we can head out, and Chick has shown up.
Yeah. And maybe it could even be a thing where you're like about to head down to your like speeder, your little Mitsubishi night sky that Rich can't not call it that in his head.
Very good. Send him in, please.
Cool. And so is this another one of your species, like another member of the Amwati?
Probably not. Probably, there probably aren't a lot of us here.
Okay, cool. Do you imagine that do you hire non-humans, humans? Do you have any preference for your folks that you would hire to serve you?
I don't know. I can't imagine I'm that. I'm looking for loyalty more than species, so I'm probably open to anyone that has gotten through the vetting, and I feel like I have a hook in deep enough that I know they're not going to screw me over. I am paranoid.
It's true. You are. Cool. So we will say that I glance through my NPCs and places, because if I'm going to put them there, why not possibly use them? Are there any that look like they might work? No, I don't think so. All right. We will say that it is a Togruta male who escorts you in once Screet gives the okay, and he gestures and says, Cheek, we suck.
Cheek, how very good to see you. I must admit I was planning to get in touch with you very soon. Anyway.
I'm just wondering, how rare would this be that I would come see you? Like, strange or super strange?
It sounds like you try to avoid doing that sort of thing, so I'm guessing
probably
pretty rare.
Okay. And then you say I was just going to get in contact with you, so if you could see my face, it would be pinched up at that point. What would I call you? Screed? Mr. Mountbank? What's like the most groveling term that would be possible?
Probably Mr. Montbank.
Okay. Mr. Montbank, I'm glad I could save you the trouble then. How are you?
Well, honestly, busy. If you wouldn't mind, we may have this discussion in the car, provided... what can I do for you? I don't see you here at my humble abode very often.
I'm pretty sure you're definitely going to assassinate me now. You're like, let's go into the car and have this conversation. Well, it's not for me. My cousin Pib Weebler, he's not been around. I'm sure you know him. He's very loyal enforcer in your employ, but myself and my family, we were worried about him, and it strains our resources to find him. But you're so capable that we thought perhaps you might more easily locate Pib Weebler.
As it turns out, I think I have located Pib, and that is where I was with my associate, Mr. Cross, going to be traveling to. He seems to have gotten himself in a little bit of trouble. Is
Cross already there?
Yeah.
Okay. Like I can see him in the room?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if he's there, obviously I can't. He's not a small guy. That would actually make me less nervous because for some reason I find him easier to relate to. I don't know why, but it's like, oh yeah, I know Cross. Maybe because he's cool with the Jawas. Oh, well, it sounds like you have it taken care of then. I'm sorry to have bothered you on a matter that you already had in hand. Very, very
before you trundle off, there was a couple of little things. Please walk with us as we begin walking towards the car. A couple of things I wanted to discuss with you. Number one, I'm concerned about your laboratory and its placement. Some, let's call them miscreants, have shown an interest in your work, especially what you do for me, and I worry for your safety. You are ever so valuable to me.
That's very kind, Mr. Monbank. I assure you the lab is very secure. It's well hidden, hard to access, and the equipment is second to none. My secondary reification filter is one of the finest that you could possibly hope to find. I don't know if I mentioned I tied it into the ventilation system of the meat market that is downwind, and it is more efficient, and also the smells vent right through their ventilation. So if there's any unusual odors, no one's going to notice it. They'll just think it's coming from the meat market.
So you're suggesting it would not be easy to move your laboratory?
I would worry there would be a downgrade in quality of
I understand completely. So you're in agreement that it would be best for me to put a guard with you?
I would not ever hope to gainsay you, Mr.
Very good. Well, then I will arrange someone to accompany you once this little difficulty, please get into the car, is over, and we will rotate through to make sure that you are, well, as safe as possible. And as I motion for you to get into the car, if you are willing, or don't run.
I don't say anything. I just kind of slide in as unobtrusively as possible.
And Cross, if I'll get in, and I'm guessing you'll ride with us.
Yeah, I'll get in on the other side so that Cheek is kind of squeezed between us. And I'm guessing the car kind of tilts a bit when I get in. Kind of big and with all my equipment. So there's a bit of a, yeah.
The hover pads have to adjust.
Yeah.
Very good. And the second little thing I was wanting to discuss with you is I need something special.
No, go on.
I need a chemical, let's call it that, which when given to someone can linger, let's say, in their metabolism for some considerable amount of time. which could have, let's say, detrimental effects upon their future, should they not receive a second compound on a rather regular schedule.
Just picturing I'm taking notes. Poison, antidote. And like Cheek's voice has definitely changed in timbre and composition. I'm like, interesting conundrum there. It would, of course, depend on the metabolism, which therefore depends on the species. So I will need a few additional details, but I have some thoughts now that we could perhaps share on the ride over.
Absolutely. And I'll smile with that sort of vicious smile as we head on.
Nice. That's a good scene. I like we danced near some moves, but Cheek was very smart and like said, "Yes, that sounds good, Kingpin. I will do what you say." Mira, you are alone with E631. Is there anything you wish to do?
I was trying to think about it. Whether I want anything else from E631. Would I know that it works for Pike?
Yeah, I think there are, because that was one of the things that On My had mentioned.
Okay. Actually, I think Mira is done for the moment. She'll let it speak to its legal advisor. I think she's less interested in what made it shoot and more interested in this what's with the tone of wasted. So what she's going to do, I think she'll just leave the droid and let Anmai take care of all the legal stuff. Part of the ISB gear that I took was a network of criminal contacts with the tags informed and costly. And I think Mira is gonna start talking to one or two of them, and one specific one, to try and figure out where the hell did these Jawas go? Wonder where these.
Jawas... yeah, you'll quickly, like, easy enough, you find out the last place that the Jawas were seen. They were partying with a Trandoshan by the name of Krosh at Viscosity. You would hear that probably from Malzef Kendrun, who's the guy who owns Viscosity. He's an Imperial trooper.
Yeah, I think I've met him a few times, actually, because I've been around asking where my sister's gone off to, and why the hell does she have a bounty on her head?
I don't know why.
I don't know why. Hang around with the wrong kind of people, that Nina. For those who don't know, she was a character in The Veil. She made some poor choices in life.
But she had an adorable roly droid, guys.
Okay, all right.
Yes, Krosh is the target of the investigation, absolutely.
Yeah. I think that's where Mira's kind of going to start off. She is trying to track down where the Jawas are now.
Cool. That sounds really interesting to me. I think, let's see. First of all, I'm going to check something. Do you have... Oh, yeah.
I mean, I have a move that will let me show up there, but I want to at least have some justification why she can show up there.
Sweet. So here's what happens. You get a line on some Jawas spotted by the docks. The docks being the spaceport where incoming stuff comes down to 1313. If you guys are like curious or weren't aware, if you look in, do I have a picture of it in the plaza? I can't remember if I have. But there's a really cool picture of the giant shaft that leads up all 1,300 levels, and there's a dock on each of the sectors. different subterranean levels where people they get people can ship up and down, and is where a lot of goods get moved. And yeah, there was if you're looking around for Jawas, there are a bunch of Jawas that were spotted hiding out near the docks, kind of moving around suspiciously. Corsac, a couple of guys. Let's say that your contacts are a couple of Corsac folk, guys by the name of Thomas Cath and Jan Antilles, and they spotted the Jawas and just kind of marked it and said, "Yeah, they're down here. We could probably find them if we wanted to go look for them, but they're just Jawa, you know."
Well, can't really can't let anything slip on their radar these days, gentlemen. A couple of Jawas here, some loony security droid shooting things up there, Trandoshans on the loose. But thanks for pointing me in the right direction, folks. And I'm tempted. So I think I will have to invoke that move to be there for sure. Now I just have to make the choice of whether to be there by myself or bring on the fuzz, so to speak. I'll lay out what Mira wants. She wants that wasted. So I think So let me ask a clarifying question. What I should read out the move. In this case, it's the name of the move. Mark stress to show up in a scene alongside Coruscant security or the ISB, assuming that you aren't unavailable. Mark stress to show up instead of the authorities. You have a few minutes solo in the scene before anyone else arrives. So what that means is that like they will arrive, but I just get
they would be on their way.
Okay.
So just to be clear, there's about to be like your contact is in my mind's eye. You were slightly behind the timeline, so we are pinned down by the Pike Syndicate in Mira's timeline is about to happen. So that is why the Corsac is going to get called, is that there's going to be a bit of a firefight.
Okay. But I think I'll play it safe then. I'll just mark one stress to show up there with Corsac.
Okay.
Let's turn a gang fight into a true way kerfuffle. Why not?
It's going to be awesome. We have the Pike, we have Screech guys, we have the Corsac. That sounds amazing. And it's also the perfect time for us to take our mid-game break. We are 33 after the hour. Let's take a 7-minute break and meet at 20 till. We will see you guys in 7 minutes. Welcome back, guys. I wanted to share a picture with you just so you have. I like this picture anyway, so I'm just going to show you. This is one of my favorite pictures of what it looks like on Sector 1313. As you look across, this is that kind of central area. Here's another picture just to show as the sectors head up, there are these freighters that will kind of come down, and then they'll cycle through here and land on the docks in this main core area. But there is this giant donut hole, as it were, and if you fall down it, you will not hit the ground for several minutes, and you're already over 1,300 sectors down. So it's like miles. So yeah, we pick up with kind of a drone camera view coming over to that particular point, and it zips down to a small warehouse where Maltbank's forces, his enforcers, are firing upon a group of mercenaries who are stuck between the few Jawas who are inside the warehouse and the enforcers. And it's gotten a little heated. There is a couple speeders that have crashed, and they've flipped one of them over. You can see there are a couple of dead bodies as Screet, Krosh, and Cheek all arrive in the armored speeder. As you come on the scene, you see there's a lot going on, but your driver, Screet, of course, is going to be wise enough not to like drive you right into the middle of that. So he's just kind of pulled where you guys have a view of what's going on. But yeah, you can see that your forces have these folks pinned. You rolled well, and they are acting well. Your enforcers are in the process of trying to take these guys out, these Pike Syndicate mercs. Problem is that this has gotten very public, right? And so the amount of time that it's going to take for them to wear these guys down is not, they're not going to be able to do it fast enough the way that these guys are dug in before Coruscant arrives. And as you guys pull up, we of course flip over to Mira. So let me check at the gear here. Does Mira have her own speeder bike? What is she?
Yeah, she has an Imperial vehicle, speeder bike. It's a
nice
standard issue 614 AVA.
Oh, nice. Look at you. So I think you and your partner are does she ride with you, or does she have her own speeder bike online?
I think it's probably Coruscant feels it's more impressive if everyone has their own speeder bike.
Cool. All right. So yeah, the two of you, she lets you lead because she's just the trainee. The partner, as it were, as you guys are pulling up, and you see blaster fire, red and blue and yellow bolts flying, and yeah, it's pretty hectic. This is definitely not going to make anyone in Coruscant's day unless they can get a really good collar off of this.
Oh, beautiful. Is it just the two of us, or?
Well, you didn't pay the 3, so I think you're arriving with Coruscant, right?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think I'm disseminating the order that like there are Jawas pinned there, and they're the priority. Then, I mean, well, obviously, priority is to contain this and make sure it doesn't spill out. But
save the citizens. That's the priority.
Yeah, well, hey, look, we're in a docking bay. How many citizens could there be here? But yeah, okay, fine. Priority 1, contain this, and sort of no civilian casualties happen. Priority 2, secure the Jawas because they're the inciting incident for all this, and it's part of our investigation. And 3, yeah, stop the gang war from happening. Mira probably said this way more impressive than I could.
Yeah, sure. Mira's good. She knows the code words to use. Yeah, you tell me the high concepts. We're good.
Cool. Yeah. So, but priorities the Jawas for sure.
Awesome. So, it sounds like you're trying to do a thing. Let's see here. It sounds like maybe you're trying to push your luck. So if you want to push your luck in your pursuit of trying to get in on the Jawas first, let's see you do that.
Hell yeah.
Roll with grit.
Grit's not too bad. Ooh, I rolled an 8. I'm not used to not rolling misses. This is weird.
Yeah, well, hold on. Oh, there you are. I was like, maybe you're rolling on the wrong rolling thing, because I don't see this 8. I didn't see your stuff at all. Like, but there it is. Oh man,
okay.
An 8. Okay, so on a 7 to 9 with push your luck, things don't work out quite like you'd hoped. The MC will tell you how you can turn things around if you act quickly, make an ugly choice, or tough it out. So you're zipping along. You're going along a side street. The first thing, Mira, that you notice is you recognize Screet Mountbank's night sky speeder limo. He is here. You guys have to kick it up to kind of head up. And so I'm kind of imagining it's your speeder bikes both caught air, and your partner is trying to follow you. But you ever seen the whole, well, in America, like the speed trap? It's usually not the first car to go through, but the cops will catch the second one to come through. And so you zip past on your speeder bike heading, and you're going to land on top of the warehouse. But on one of the Pike Syndicate thugs, blaster carbine, he fires on her speeder bike and tags her. And she starts spinning, and she skids out on top of the warehouse as you land. So here is here's the ugly choice. You can get to those Jawa, but you're gonna have to leave Anmai on her own to deal with whatever fallout from her wreck. What do you do?
Of course, I had to make her personable. Couldn't have been the one who's suspicious of me.
She brought you clava, man. Just the way you like it.
Oh, you. Let's see. I did say Mira's incredibly cynical, but is she that cynical?
I don't know. Should we cut away from you and let you think about this for a minute?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to lie down on the floor.
All right.
That's
my MC move of letting players stew on it. We cut back to Mountbank. You have informed Chica what's going on. Cross, you're well aware. You know that Coruscant is on their way. What is it? Screet, and you're the bossman. You're the Druglord. You're the kingpin, as it were. I think I'm going to rename Druglord to Kingpin. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So the Jawas are in the warehouse?
Yes, your cousin is in the warehouse. If you book it right now, he's super going to get arrested.
Okay, and the Pikes are outside of the warehouse, as are the enforcers.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So the Pikes were coming in on the warehouse. Like they were working their way in. The Jawas kind of hunkered down. The enforcers came in, fired on the Pike. So now the Pike are in the middle. They're a wedge, right? They're getting fired on from the Jawas as well as Pike's enforcers. They basically crashed a couple of speeders and are hiding behind them on a Duracrete street, pinned up against a building. And if somebody had like a thermal detonator and a death wish, they could take them out, but that'd be pretty gross.
I'm going to look across. My friend, this is more in your line. I need the Jawas out, and I need the product as well. Can you get them for me?
And
alive, right?
Of course, alive.
Yeah, I mean they're no good to you dead, of course.
They are part of the Montback gang. I care for each and every one of my people.
It's like a
Them
family.
and you. It is. It is very much like a family.
Just to be clear about the conversation before with this, I'm not sure. Out of character, obviously. I'm not sure. Did Street want me to take her out, or just capture her, or?
I now bring them all out. I care very much for having them back at the office.
Okay, boss. So Cross is getting out of the limo, and it kind of tilts back again when the the hover pads adjust again. And he's got his carbine, he's got his stun grenades, and he's going to not just march straight at them, but kind of sidle along. The enforcers are firing on the pike guys, so he's going to go behind them and from the side, find his spot, and then he's going to charge in, firing, throwing a couple of stun grenades at them, and just try to take them out, basically.
That sounds amazing. Why don't you turn to violence? Roll with savagery.
Let's do that.
Savagery's a 2.
Sure if that roll it was exactly the same.
I'm sorry?
I'm not sure if the roller worked. I've got the exact same numbers. I'll try it again.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see anything change on my side. But if you see the die like rotate, there you go. You roll 2 new ones. Awesome.
Yeah,
A 2 and a
perfect.
5. Okay, so you got a 9.
Yeah.
On a 9, with turn to violence. This is fun, right? This is fun stuff. We love this. You get 2 choices. Inflict terrible harm, suffer a little harm, resist marking stress, or avoid collateral damage. So what
Can
2
I
options?
help with this?
You can. Oh, you can push you into a 10. Absolutely. If you want to get involved. Do you want to get involved?
Yeah.
Oh, this sounds good. Yeah. Okay. Help or interfere. When you help or interfere after a PC is rolled, perfect time. Wager stress, a max of +3, and roll. On a hit, you give them a +1, or if you're interfering, a -2 of their roll, your choice. On a 7 to 9, you mark however much stress you wagered on the roll. On a miss, mark the stress you wagered and prepare for the worst. How much would you wager of your stress?
I think I'm going to wager 2.
All right, roll +2.
Okay, let me up my stress. And I think...
No, you don't. You may not. If you roll a 10 plus, you don't up. If you make a 10 plus, you're just wagered it, so you don't actually mark the stress unless you roll a 7 to 9 or a 6 minus.
All right. So I think that I'll, as Cross has already started moving across, I'll look to Sheik and say, says, I suppose we need to provide as much assistance as we can. Feel free to stay here in the car where you're safe, though. And as I'm saying this, I've reached down and I pulled out my blaster, and you see me kind of slide out of my more elegant coat there. And, there's the charge of, this is actually a fairly dangerous guy, as I get out and begin hoofing it over to where my forces are, and I'm rallying them to provide cover for Cross.
That sounds amazing.
So I roll. Dice don't fail me now. Ha! That's a 9.
Okay. So on a 7 to 9, you do mark the 2 stress like you were going to anyway.
Okay.
But you do get the +1 to Cross. You now have 3 choices on that move for turn to violence. So what is the one thing you don't mark?
I think I kind of want the collateral damage this time, but yeah, it's too much fun. So I'll do terrible harm, suffer little harm, don't take any stress because this is what I do, but there's going to be collateral damage.
Nice. Okay. Cool. So you start moving up. Screet comes in to kind of get his guys organized, to give you a little bit of cover as you approach on their position. You said you had a stun grenade. Do you have any explosives? Like, do you make speeders go boom here, or?
I have, I think, in my check, I think I had explosives, not as weapons, but as equipment. Yeah, an explosives kit. So I guess I've jury-rigged something. Maybe like if there was some abandoned speeder here, I just jury-rigged some explosions on it, set it off on autopilot just towards their position.
Nice.
Just for more for distraction than for damage.
Awesome. There's like a little Johnny
it.
Cab there, and you program it real quickly with your explosive kit, and that's the thing you send in ahead of you as Screet's organizing the forces to support your attack. It slams into the speeder that they'd kind of pulled over onto its side. There's an explosion. Some of them start to scatter. You approach, take several. I'm imagining is Crush like calm and collected and just squeezes off shots, or does he jump in there and just wail on people? What does it look like when you take out the majority of these folks?
I think he's advancing quickly and kind of shooting, just taking opportunity shots basically when they start to scatter. And if he's not seeing anyone, he throws a stun grenade and just hopes that someone will flush out of cover. He's kind of in his element, so he's excited by the battle, but he's focused.
Nice. So you take out this little cluster of mercs with that with the backup from Montbank. There's one guy who dashes down an alleyway. He's got a couple of little like droids that cover his escape, and they're firing behind him as he's running. He looks like Solomon Falwyn, who is currently on row 11. I'm pointing over here at another monitor. Sorry about that. But Solomon Falwyn is the merc that's in the process of trying to get away. You've broken their assault on the Jawas. As far as you can tell in this moment. Cheek, you're in the speeder, and you see all of this go on. Are you just like hunkering down in the speeder, or are you doing something else?
Unless I have a very obvious low risk opportunity, this is not the sort of area where he thrives. I think it's more likely that I'm planning out the poison, assuming that Screet has given him some details on the ride over as to who it's for. He's got his pad open and is like trying to ignore the laser fire.
Okay, cool. I think then if you're trying to mix up your stuff, you're trying to cook, right? Let's see. You've got a cook move. That's the start of thing. I think you should try science, right?
I was going to say, yeah, this is probably a let's try science move. And actually, I wanted to maybe flash back to talking to Screet.
Yeah.
I need more of a particular chemical, not for this, but I'm hoping that I could have tried to make a deal with him to get the chemical, saying that it's for this poison that I'm trying to create.
All righty.
And I think that's, propose a deal.
Okay,
and,
awesome. Propose a deal is a fun move.
I am able to do that with grit because of my special skills. So let's see.
You propose a deal to get what you want. Roll with face. You're rolling with grit.
Oh, that went well. That's a 13.
Nice. On a 10 plus, they have to choose. Take the deal as it stands or mark stress.
Oh, I'll take that deal. Yeah, that seems a
Pretty
reasonable.
easy deal. I get you this chemical and you get me a poison. Okay.
Yeah. I'm probably not even overly suspicious about that. That seems to make perfect sense to me.
And now let's see if if you want me to do it now, Rich, to see if I am able to.
Yeah.
It's going to be I think that's also with grit. That is a 9. So efforts are messy or unstable, mark stress. I think that's an and rather than an or.
Let me go back to the cook just to make sure there wasn't a copy paste.
It's got a
confusion there.
colon, which makes me think because it's unstable, I mark stress, not necessarily that there's a.
I tend to agree with you. I just want to take one last glance at the original move just to see if there's something. Roll with grit. On a hit, you can okay. On a 7 to 9, your efforts are messy or unstable. Mark stress. Yep. So it is exactly that. It's actually supposed to be a colon, not. Is it a colon or?
It is a colon.
Okay, good. So yes, you mark stress.
And that will put me at 5 stress.
All right. Fantastic. You have cooked up a poison. You know who it's for. Yeah. Pibs, girly girl. Awesome. The two of them have been thick as thieves for goodness knows how long. Yeah.
Do I know who it's for or just that it's for a pike?
Oh, that's true. Do you know who it's for? Their scream thing? Did you say who it's for?
I probably did not give Chima's name. Yeah.
All right. So you know it's for one of Montbank's enemies. That's fine. No problems there. Awesome. We cut back to the rooftop as you hear your coworker, your partner, your pupil, as it were, on my leg's pinned. And you see the windows, like you can see the Jawas are running around, and you see one of them has that Camptono of wasted.
Is this around the same time Crass is unleashing hell?
Yep. You hear the explosion beneath you. Things are getting crazy. You hear over the comm units. We're nearly there.
I do have a personal comm. I think I'll say to the comm, Coruscant, I've got eyes on Crass at the moment. He's unleashing all sorts of hell. Be advised to book it and try and contain this mess. My partner's down. I'm going to tend to that. I'm going to trust you on this, Coruscant. And I'm not even going to let them say anything back. I'm just going to
cut them off and moving on. Okay.
Cut them off. Look, I assume they're professionals and they're going to do their job.
Of course they are.
There's a loose assassin out there, but I'm going to pull out my blaster and go find my partner.
Nice. So you make your way over. You see that the little reactor on her speeder is starting. It's like ticking, tick, 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 tick. It's ticking up, like it is about to overheat, which is not good. And she is stuck underneath it. Like she's not just stuck because a speeder bike you can pick it up and move it over, but something about the grav plate is wedged and it's actually kind of driving into her leg, and she's in a great deal of pain.
Ooh, I think I'm gonna run up there and probably make some sort of joke about how she wasted 30 minutes of my time telling me about her workout routine, and this is what you get. No, I don't say that.
She does not laugh.
No. Okay, I think let's see that and say all right, okay. This. Hold on. Do you have something to grit your teeth with? Because this is gonna hurt.
Yeah. She quickly grabs, and she wears gloves, and so she sticks it in her teeth, and she's sweating profusely and seriously worried, terrified of what's about to happen.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I'm just gonna try and lift up the bike and dislodge the grab plate that's digging into it. It's just that
doesn't sound bad at all. Push your luck.
Yeah. Oh God. All right.
Your grit's a +1.
Yeah, grit's a +1. Oh my gosh, that's a 10.
Wow. That is awesome. So you reach down and you're able to adjust the grav plate, and then all of a sudden it's as light as a feather. You just like lift it right off of her leg. You can still hear it going ping, 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 ping. But there's no way she's going to be walking on that leg right now. The bone is crushed, but you have freed her. She'll scramble out of the way. What do you do?
Yeah, damn. There's those Jawas, but I think I'll kind of like help her move away from the bike as I'm kind of like going back in the comms and just asking like, of course, like you better get here soon. Not in those terms. Maybe not in that tone.
Yeah, we're there. So yeah, as you're looking back and helping her, kind of maybe you lift on Maya's arm over yours, and you're helping her get her away from the speeder bike. You realize that if this thing blows and you're still on the roof, it's not going to go well. You could jump off, or maybe you can try to dive into that warehouse. What do you want to do here? You've got your speeder bike. Maybe you can make it to your speeder bike and get out.
You really like pushing my buttons, do you, Rich? God.
Oh, the buttons.
Yeah. I think the multi-step thing I want to do is to get out on the bike and then dive into get her to go her own way and then dive into the warehouse. There's a lot of steps. But
yeah, it's a lot of steps. So you want to get to the speeder bike and try to push your luck to get that speeder bike and get into the warehouse before her speeder bike blows up. Sounds awesome. Push your luck again.
Yeah. Jesus.
It's gonna go fine.
Why am I doing all the action hero?
I don't know. It's great though. It's good.
I got a 6. So.
Got a 6. Awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
So you're carrying her over towards the speeder bike. You slide her onto it, and that's when you're and the roof. We cut back to you guys. Cheek, you've just finished up. You've got the poison, and you see this flash above you, and there's this like explosion at the top of the warehouse. It blinds you for a second, and then you see you're Jawa. You can tell them all apart from each other, right? They may not know, but you totally know that that's Diz running with a Camtono of wasted, and she just zips out and books it, running as hard as she can, holding it like a giant carton of ice cream, and you don't see the other Jawas like covering her tracks or like running around or anything like that. We cut to Montbank and Krosh. You guys are just taking care of the pikes. This explosion happens. You hear Coruscant is on their way, and this is not good. This has gone pretty Ponfar shaped for you, Montbank. What do you want to do? Push your way into the warehouse now that there's no pressure on it?
We haven't seen the Jawas come running out, or
There's
since
too
the
much
firing
going on.
stopped, they
Yeah.
haven't come out or anything.
You haven't seen any of them come out, although when you look over, you see the doors open to the warehouse.
Okay. And the explosion that was over there, am I aware that was, I'm thinking, security of some sort, or do I know?
It was on top of the warehouse where all the Jawas are holed up.
Okay. Then I'll give motion to Cross and maybe like 2 of my best guys to come with me, and the rest I'm like cover our tracks and to make sure they're keeping security so we can get the hell out when we need to.
Awesome.
And then they'll disperse. The idea is for them to cover us, and then we all evaporate.
Sounds awesome. You rush into the warehouse. You see Orak, you see Krazo and Pibweebler. I'm sorry. You see 3 Jawas, and they're all laying on the ground.
They're all laying on the ground.
They're all laying on the ground. You don't see like plaster marks around them or anything. You're not sure what happened to them, but they're laying there inert. not moving around.
I will rush to see if they're dead.
Cool. The first one you reach over, you and he's been stunned, and you see his little yellowy eyes start to open up, and it's Orak. You hear his voice, you recognize his voice, right? And he says, "Diz shot me."
And I've scanned, and I don't see the canister, and I don't see Diz.
No, you don't.
Ross, can you find this Jawa for me?
I'll do it. Is there like an obvious route she may have taken to leave the warehouse?
I mean, maybe you should be a hunter right now.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And also, Cheek, if you wish, you could help out because you got a little bit of a look.
Yeah, I think probably seeing Diz looking that suspicious, I would have gotten out and like at least half-heartedly started to follow her.
Nice. Cool. So if you're cool with making that a help, let's let our hunter, Crush, roll with savagery to activate the hunter move.
Right. If I can do this.
So there's a green button. Oh, you're just going to do 2 fresh? That's cool. All right, a 3 and a
apparently,
5.
I
And you're...
didn't see the reroll button.
That's okay. No problem.
So that's 8, and this was with savagery, right?
It is.
Yeah, so I'm at a 10 because Cross apparently can't fail.
You're the best hunter. Awesome. On a hit, you catch them exposed or vulnerable. Oh, this is even better. So Cheek, you don't have to risk any to help, but you are there when Cross, with his big, long Trandoshan legs, heads down the alleyway where Diz was taking off, and you see Diz Cross. She has that Camptono of wasted, and she's looking across, and it looks like she's going to make a run for it, try to get on one of the transports that's heading out. But you got the drop on her because you just rolled a 10+ on a hunter, so you catch her exposed or vulnerable. What do you do?
It feels really bad, but she betrayed Pib, she betrayed Mountbank, and I owe Pib for saving me, and I'm working for Mountbank, and I kind of owe him too. So I'm just going to shoot her.
All right. So Cheek, you come around the corner and you see Crush pull up his blaster carbine, and he fires, and plop, plop, plop. And Diz falls to the ground, falls to the Duracrete. And you hear the sound of the sirens. A Coruscant is arriving. And I assume Crush will go over and pick up the Camptono of Wasted. Cheek, what are you doing? You've got the poison. Probably not a good thing for Coruscant to find on you right now.
Which way is Cross heading?
I don't know.
Back to the car, or?
Yeah, unless there's like obviously a Corsac is in the way, I'm going to run back towards the warehouse and try to find.
I think maybe
get back to the car.
You're trying to leave a messy crime scene before the authorities arrive.
That sounds a lot like it. Yeah.
Why don't you roll with heat? You've got a heat of 1 right now.
Yeah. Let's see if I can. Right. Oh yeah. That's a 7 with a +1.
Okay, that's an 8. So on a 7 to 9,
Oh,
on a
sorry,
hit,
I rolled a 6, but it's yeah,
you rolled a 6.
It's the same thing.
Okay. Yeah. So on a miss, you exit the scene. Tell the MC what potentially incriminating evidence you've left behind. This is one of those where you want to roll low. On a 7 to 9, the authorities respond before you can get away, but they are isolated or unprepared for what they find. Yeah.
Oh, wait. So what did you end up with, Anders? Can I help and lower it to something useful?
That's a great question. You ended up with an 8 because he adds up to it, right? You rolled
Yeah,
a 7.
I had a 5 and a 1, so that's a 6, and I have a 1 in heat, so it's a 7 total.
Okay.
Oh.
And then the question you asked is, can you help? I'm going to say yes, because the rules don't say you can't.
Okay.
So
sounds good.
I
And
think
then
that is a question I'm going to ask Mark about, though.
still wager. Oh, I can't wager any stress though, so it doesn't matter. I'm at 5 stress.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I am too stressed out to help you.
Too stressed out to help. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Okay, so Crush, you're going to end up with that that failing to get away. Basically, the authorities respond before you can get away. They're isolated or unprepared for what they find. They're unprepared for what they find. They are not prepared for an assassin who is loaded for bear. Yeah. Good. So let's cut to Mira. Your ears are ringing. Your whole body is numb. And I think that that you've gained 2 stress.
Oh, lovely.
There was an explosion that happened behind you a little while ago. Your speeder bike was kind of thrown clear, but you were thrown, and then there's like this little lip at the top of the warehouse, right? You like slammed into that lip, as did Amara, your partner, and she is in real bad shape.
Can
You
I
hear Coruscant is here.
Yeah.
You hear they're on loudspeakers calling for everybody to throw down their arms. They're under arrest, and you're not entirely sure what's going on because you can barely hear that from all of the ringing in your ears.
Yeah. We're still on top of the warehouse, aren't we?
You are still on top of the warehouse. Amai is passed out.
Yeah.
She's bleeding. Her ears are bleeding. Her nose is bleeding. She's scuffed up. She's covered in smoke stains. Her leg is pulped from the speeder bike.
Yeah. I think I'm kind of like just gingerly, I'm taking my comms out and I'm kind of like calling on, if anyone's not busy, we've got an ISB agent down on top of the warehouse. And I'm kind of doing this as I'm kind of like gingerly walking around the warehouse, trying to see who's still inside.
Cool.
If there's anyone inside?
Yes, you're calling for Coruscant inside. You see Screet is in there. He's just dispersed his forces, and you see that he's there with 3 Jawa that are prone.
No sign of that Canto. Do I hear in the comms that they found Cross?
Yes, they are calling out. We found the Trandoshan. We're going to take him out right now. We have our blaster set to stun.
I think. So I see Screet. Does Screet see me?
Yeah, sure. Screet, you're pretty aware. There's a lot of crap going on. A lot of poodoo happening right now. You're aware of what's going on. You probably see the shadow up above you from the skylight to skylight. 1,300 levels underground. But anyway, the skylight, you catch eyes, like you meet eyes with Mira.
Like I'll lower the comms unit and kind of like give him a what do you want sort of look.
Looking up at you, I think I tell my guys, pick them up, we're getting out of here. And I'm going to, as I look up, kind of give a, just a little salute goodbye sort of motion as I start working to try and find an escape route for me and my guys and these Jawas.
I think in response to that, I'll put up the comms. I'll do the salute as well, and I'll put up the comms and say like, Coruscant, warehouse is clear. I just need a pickup for my injured partner. Please ensure that the Trandoshan is stunned. We want them alive, of course. Clean up this mess. The warehouse is secure.
All right. It sounds like you're trying to pressure these Coruscant agents to follow your command here and not infiltrate the warehouse and discover the drug lord / kingpin. So when you pressure someone to go along with you, roll with hustle.
Yay, my other good stat. Oh, that's a 9.
Nice. All right, on a 7 to 9, you let something important slip as you bring your pressure to bear. On a hit, they see their point, so he's gonna follow through. They are going to, and just for economy, I'll say one of them is one of your contacts, right? Just because we've already introduced Thomas and Jan. So what is it that you let slip to Thomas and Jan?
Ooh. Wait, who is this again?
It's the Coruscant security guards.
Oh,
Coruscant
yes,
security guards.
Yes. I think. Ooh, what do I let slip? Maybe underneath, just because underneath my breath, Mira just kind of says like, as Screet is getting away, just and what's his name again? Thomas will pick it up. Well, one of them will pick it up. Mira just kind of says under breath, "Let's see you at brunch, Screet."
Okay, nice.
Yes, I've decided now that we have regular brunch.
Nice. So let's slide to Cheek as Krosh is now seeing. I see now it's like pet day. I love it. I'm not the only person who has to have an animal on their lap. It's good to make it a group thing.
We'll see if you can hear the purring when the mic's on.
Not yet. Chihuahua passed out, by the way. He's in his little bed. It's awesome. So yeah, you see Krosh is realizing he's going to have to face down a Coruscant and try to punch his way out of here or let himself get arrested. You might have a chance if you want to try to flee on your own. You are a Jawa. You aren't loaded for bear. They have eyes on the Trandoshan.
I feel like one, I don't like my odds. Super great. And I want to try to kind of make a connection with Krosh here and be like, yeah, remember we stood together against all of those ISB and the Corsac and put them all in the ground, which mostly means standing behind Krosh as he hopefully shoots them to tiny little pieces. If I see an opportunity to do something, I will help.
All right. Krosh, there are Coruscant security guards. They've pulled up in speeders. They come out, they're wearing body armor. They've called out, we have our weapon set to stun. Lay down your weapons or we will take you down. What do you do?
I'm going to hand the drugs, the waste tip to Cheek, like behind my back. I know he's behind me, obviously. Yep. And don't cark this up. And then I'm just going to open fire on the Coruscant and try to cover while we tell Cheek, stay behind me.
All right.
But I just blast violently and try to find a route to just get away. At this point, I'm not trying to get out to meet up with Screet anymore. It's just find some way out of here.
Okay. Press your luck. Roll with grit. They are going to be firing on you. You're going to get carking shot, but we'll see how it happens when you press your luck.
Okay, and I have a grit of 1, so that's 9.
All right. On press your luck on a 7 to 9, things don't work out quite like you'd hope. The MC will tell you how to turn things if you act quickly, make an ugly choice, or tough it out.
That was a 9, though?
Yep, that was a 9.
Oh, I still don't have any stress. Damn it.
I know. It's so bad. Here's the
Hold on. Let me do some drugs real quick.
If you're willing to get carking shot, by the way, it's a stun thing, so you're not going to get killed. But if you're willing to just end up getting shot, the ugly choice is Cheek will get away. He'll get away with the Chemtono. Screet's got good legal, like he's got a lot of credits. Maybe he can get you out. Or you can burst your way through. You are going to have to turn to violence, which means you may end up killing some Coruscant security folks, and they're going to bury you under the jail. What do you do?
Yeah, I don't want to get arrested. There's too much risk in that. I mean, Screet has a lot of connections and stuff, but there are too many of the core sec who just would be like, I expect them to just put a blaster shot in the back of my head or something. So I am going to turn to violence.
All right. When you turn to violence, roll a savagery. On a hit, you're going to trade harm as established. You will be getting carking shot. But let's go ahead and have you roll plus savagery.
Yeah, 6 plus 2 is an 8. Not a miss.
Okay, choose 2.
Yeah, I am going to suffer little harm, and I'll inflict terrible harm. More fun.
Wow. Okay. There's a hail of blaster bolt fire as you try to fire and push your way through. Not heading back to the warehouse, but effectively moving across the street, drawing them away from Cheek so Cheek can still get out. You take out one of the Coruscant security guards. You get hit in the shoulder, but it's your body armor is able to fend that off. But then 2 of them dial in with their blaster carbine set to stun and fire upon you a hail of bolts. And yeah, you're going to need to get carking shot. But you did, among that, you did choose less damage. So we'll do it here. Here we go. When you get carking shot, roll, add 1 for each. It's a handgun or other small weapon, or it's a handgun or other small weapon. It's not true. Your shooter is an amateur or isn't trying to kill you. That is true because they have their blasters set to stun. You have cover, body armor, or a bodyguard. That is also true. And then I'll say plus 1 more because you chose the less damage, right? So you're rolling plus 3.
Okay.
On a hit, you'll live.
5, so that's an 8.
Okay. On a 7 to 9, choose 1, and the shooter chooses 1. It's bloody, it's messy, or it's painful.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. You choose one of the 3. It's bloody, it's messy, or it's painful.
Oh, okay. It's just one of those.
Yeah, I mean, there's mechanical stuff to it. It's under the basic stress moves. Yeah. Okay.
It's painful. That's fine.
Okay.
I can take the pain.
I'm going to choose this messy. The wound will leave an impressive, ugly scar. Cool. So you fight your way through this, you crazy Slimo. You end up heading down an alleyway. You got shot so many times, they thought they would just find your body in the alley. But when when Thomas comes around and Jan's right behind him, they're covering each other because they're a little terrified of you. They do not find you lying in the alley at all because you are gone. That is amazing. So let's Screet. We'll cut back to Screet. All this is going on outside, but they are not coming into the warehouse. Do you sit tight, or are you going to try to wait for a moment to kind of sneak out of this warehouse just in case?
I think I'm going to try and sneak out especially if there's like some way down inside the warehouse or some little side door to an alley I could start moving through. This is my neighborhood, so I know it well with the boys, and we're hauling the Jawas with us. But yeah, we're trying to get away.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Fantoon throws a Jawa over each shoulder, and the rest of your enforcers are with you. You guys find maybe there's an access point to the sewer system, and you drop down in there, and you are able to sneak out. So we will bring that particular scene to a close. We've got a little bit of time left. It's probably a good time for certain folks to maybe get rid of some stress. I am going to say these things. First of all, let me just say that your heat, Krosh, has gone up by 1. Cheek, you skated out of this. You still don't have any heat on you. They can't tell. This is a great thing about the speciesism of Jawa. Like, how are they going to know? And
The heat of all Jawas has gone up by 1.
yes, all Jawa heat go up by 1, which effectively, like, you divide it by number of Jawa, it's less than 1, so it rounds down. So your heat stays the same. Cool. So, Cheek, you have had a rough afternoon. You're stressed out. What do you want to do?
So let's see. The stress options are verbally abuse or shame someone, lose yourself in a substance, confess your sins, or dish out a beatdown.
Mm-hmm. And we can jump a little bit of time. Like this, if you wanted to verbally abuse or shame someone, it has to be someone you care about, right? So you can circle back around to someone you care about there.
And the confess your sins is specifically like a religious thing, it seems like.
It is. It's one of those where Cartel, it makes a whole lot of sense, in Star Wars a little less sense. That said, I did stick a Nemoidian priest in there.
Did anyone end up dying in this? Any of the Jawas? I know they were lifeless at one point. I don't know if we have confirmed.
Yes, your aunt would absolutely count for that. I'm going to say that Krazo is dead. Yeah. But Aurak and Pibweebler are still alive.
So Diz killed one of them.
Well, I mean, you're going to have to reconstruct it. They did get attacked by a bunch of pike.
True.
I you know what? I think it's actually time to maybe do a bit of the heel turn and see what all of the fuss is about with this Darth Jawa and lose myself in a substance.
Yes!
Probably rationalizing for myself that it's for research purposes.
Sounds good, yeah. Yeah, roll with grit when you lose yourself in a substance. Where does this happen? Do you go back to your lab? Do you go to some other place, like a cantina? Do you...
Let's see. I feel like, I mean, I have no idea that they don't know who I am, that I'm not like on
That's true.
every ISB and Coruscant bulletin, so I'm probably hiding out somewhere. Not sure what a good place would be. Wouldn't be going back to the lab, especially with like the worry and the fact that Screet wants to put a guard there and hasn't yet. So let's say some friend's house, like
okay,
just come rolling in. Oh God, I have the Camtono, and we are popping this thing open, and I'm like trying to get this guy to try it out, and I'm like, come on, I'm gonna have some. Let's see how that goes.
Awesome. Roll with grit. It's
right in that delicious middle range. That is an 8.
Okay, on a 7 to 9, the drugs take a toll. Make a drug move off the list. On a hit, you clear your stress track. So you clear your stress track all the way through. That's the great thing about losing yourself in a substance versus some of the others. But we look at waste it. You start a fight with a mouthy Sleemo, throw yourself at someone you shouldn't, or spend your money stupidly or carelessly.
Oh, well, I have money problems, so I feel like that's the one to go with. Let's really turn that screw. And there's like the montage of me and my buddy, and we're going out and like gambling and getting all sorts of fancy meals and, you know, throwing around big tips and stuff. And all the money I made from that extra wasted that I brewed up is gone.
That's perfect. Is this a buddy of yours also a Jawa, or is it another?
Yeah, he's a Jawa.
Awesome. So you and a Jawa head out on the town. Maybe you end up at some places like Viscosity and the Show Cantina. And yeah, you guys tear it up and you burn through all your extra wasted. That is awesome. You clear your stress track. You'll wake up somewhere we will deal with next session. Let's Go to Screet. Yeah, you've found that Krazo was dead. Krazo looks like he was shot up by a few blaster bolts, and Pibweebler and Orak are stunned. They were hit by some kind of stunner, and Diz could not be found anywhere. But you spent Crash after Diz, so yeah, you and your guys take off. You get back to your place, or are you somewhere else you want to go to hide out?
We'll go back to the office. I'm a legitimate businessman.
Okay. So then you head back to the office, and we're going to say, just because I always feel a little uncomfortable playing someone else's PC, we'll say the Pibweebler is going to stay out of it for a bit, but Orak will wake up.
Okay, that's fine.
No, what do you want? What do you want to do?
Well, first off, I do want to find out through one of my, ComSec, one of my dirty cops, if they found Diz. And
they found Diz's body.
Really dead.
Yeah. Diz is dead.
Damn. All right. And I will have tried to get in touch with Cross to find out, A, if he's okay, and B, does he have my product?
So yeah, Crush, are you gonna stay? Are you laying low, or would you answer a call from your boss?
I would answer the call. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
So I'm guessing Cross and Cheek split up at some point, since Cheek is off partying and Cross isn't along for that. So it's getting way too hot for me here. I gotta take off, boss. There's I may have shut up some Coruscant guys, and I think they're gonna come after me. I gotta head for another sector.
Did you find my product?
Oh yeah. Cheek has it. I hope he doesn't cart it up like he did last time.
Oh dear. So Cheek has it.
Yeah.
Very well, Cross. Take care of yourself and return to me as soon as you can. I will make sure that your name is swiftly forgotten and transport will be provided. Do not stay long.
Sure thing.
Take care of yourself, Cross.
You too, boss.
I like Cross. But again, someone's character isn't here, or player isn't here. But I do want to verbally shame him for having this person in his midst that he allowed to steal from me and shoot him and his gang up.
Do it! You wake him up for that. He will sit there quietly and take his lessons. And I'll probably speak for him because, I should.
All right. So that I'm trying to relieve stress by doing so.
Yeah, no, it totally makes sense.
All right. So do I roll? Should I do blast at him, but I'm not going to hit him or anything, but I am going to make him feel terrible and maybe remind him a little bit of how I have been taking care of so much of his family, and that when he does things like this, it brings not only shame to him and not only shame to his clan, but it brings shame to me.
Awesome. Yeah, so let's see you roll it. And I think Orak is there, right? He witnesses this. You're shaming him in front of his last guy, right?
All right. Let's see. What do I roll with on that?
You roll with face.
Face. All right. So I get a mid result.
Okay. So on a 7 to 9, clear 1 stress.
Very good.
your words hit hard. He would mark stress. So, a shame.
But the idea being that do not fail me again, Pip.
Nice. He's going to have to take on some non-Jawa to start moving that product as soon as you get it back from Cheek. Oh, yeah, Cheek has your product. How are you going to deal with that, Screed?
Well, I'm going to begin calling and looking for Cheek and sending out people to find him.
Okay, awesome. So then let's head over to Mira. Maybe we pick up with you at the medical facility, getting treated for your wounds.
Yeah. I think what's kind of running in her mind is like, as soon as like she's made sure she's fine, made sure Anmai is fine, well, as fine as she could be.
Maybe we pick up with you see Anmai, like her hair floating in the Bacta, and she's in the Bacta tank, and a B1 droid is talking to you. Ma'am, unfortunately, she has no next of kin. She listed you as her medical adjudicator.
That sounds about right.
It seems likely that we will need to remove the leg. Will you please make your mark, seeing that you understand this, and give permission for us to begin the operation?
Knowing Anma, she'll find a silver lining on that. That's what Mira says as she makes the mark.
Thank you. Of course, Imperial medical plans do allow for cybernetic replacement.
Well, that still counts for something, then go ahead.
So they will begin to work on that.
Yeah, I think Mira's really emotionally exhausted, so I think I do kind of want to, amidst looking at her data pad, see when she's having brunch with Screed next. I think I do kind of want to confess some sins.
Nice.
I'm trying to figure out who. I got three in mind. One is that Neimoidian. Two is a family member. Yes, let's introduce another Sunfell, or Granny Fix It.
Yeah, all of those are good options. It's no wrong answer.
Yeah, because one of my keys involves family, I think I'm gonna go with a family member, if that's okay.
Perfect. Okay, so let's make us a new Sunfell, and I'll play them. Are there any male Sunfells?
There probably are. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's have the one decent Sunfell. Let's have one. My initial deal was to have the worst one, but I because then I can confess to her because she's unrepentant about everything she does. But let's talk to a decent one. I'm gonna have to come up with a name now. And they all have 2-syllable names that end with "a." Let's see. Name paralysis. It happens.
You just call him Papa Sunfell.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's go to you know what? Yeah, let's go with Papa Sunfell. It's just
okay. Papa Sunfell. He's older. Maybe he's even dated Granny Fix It at one point.
Yeah, it's probably Mira's uncle.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Mira's uncle. Papa Sunfell has a daughter who did really well in the Imperial military, but she's gone missing.
Yeah, she was a medical officer.
Yeah. I don't know what happened to her. Yeah. Sorry, we're making more stupid references to other PCs. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think I'll go to Papa Sunfell, who's probably a decent. I'm imagining he's a small business owner. He's one of those who opted out of doing what Sunfellas usually do, which is get knee deep into crime and corruption and adjudicating over killing people. And he's like, I'm imagining him like he's like a wrestler who aged well.
Oh, nice.
Like. He's Kevin Nash. There we go. He's Kevin Nash. Yeah, look proper Fox. Okay, and I think it is just one of those. Probably this happens quite a lot, and we don't have to play out a full scene, but like I think Mira kind of like just come over, and Papa Sunfell just also gets her clava, which kind of like sinks into like a workstation. I'm imagining this small business kind of like a repair shop of some sort.
Okay.
And oh, that's a great picture of Kevin Nash.
Thank you.
And Mira's just like, Papa, you ever get into that position where you try to do a couple of wrongs to try and make it right?
Yeah.
Figures. Ask anyone in his family. Everyone's done that probably. Well, in the course of doing these couple of wrongs, someone who really didn't deserve it got hurt, and I'm not gonna say it's all my. No, that's stupid. Of course, it's kind of my fault. I did drag them into this, but that's part of working where I work, right? It's a bit
Who
of
got
risk
hurt?
in there.
Come on. We're going to go through this. We're going to have this conversation. Let's get rid of the pronouns.
Well, I'll tell you about my partner on my NDoc. Sprightly is, I think, what I call it. No, spunky and sprightly. There we go. Those are the words. And look, I bored you enough about how most of my job is bullshit. Actually, the Star Wars equivalent of bullshit. Sorry.
Poodoo.
Poodoo. There we go. Most of my job is poodoo, but she's not there yet, and part of me was kind of hoping maybe she'd be the one who won't think it's mostly poodoo, but given what just happened to her, she just might. And well, she's laid up. Apparently, no next of kin. She named me as her next of kin. Imagine that. Trusting a Sunfell. What's up with that?
Yeah, that was a bad choice.
Well, I feel very relieved, Papa. Very relieved. Downs the entire clava, and I think. Oh, go ahead.
No. Go.
No, I think this is the point where I roll.
Yeah, I was about to ask for the rolls. We were on the same page.
Hell yeah.
Roll with hustle.
Yes, other good stat. 4, 57. Ooh, that's an 8.
Okay. On a hit, you find forgiveness. Clear your stress track. On a 7 to 9, you must perform your penance before you return to him for confession, right? So he'll say, if that girl thinks that you're family, you got to do right by her, right? I mean, she doesn't have anybody else in this whole carking sector. So you got to do right by her, just like I do right by you.
That makes sense. Just kind of wish.
You be there when she wakes up. You help her make her decision about what's next.
Part of me wishes she got involved with a different kind of family, but if I'm all she's got, then yeah, that makes sense.
All right. You know what you need to do. He clasps you on the back. And you can clear that stress track. And we will bring this session to a close. Unless is everybody good? Anybody have any little stuff they need to take care of before? Okay, good. All right. So let's take a look at our keys. So let's go through the keys for Crush. Indomitable, make Mark XP when you go into battle significantly outgunned. Yes. Duty, Mark XP when you complete a task or assignment for your superiors. Why, yes. 2 more. That would give you an advance because you only need 3 to advance in this game. So that puts you 1 over. The Cook, Cheek, Mark XP when you strain your finances to meet your family's immediate needs. I'm going to say yes on that one. You basically burn through credits to meet your own needs, as it were, and you have to meet your family's needs by being alive and functional. Paranoia, Mark XP when you try to get the truth out of someone about their true loyalties. I don't think
I was
we got
aiming for that when I was interrogating Screet about how he was trying to get the Jawas back.
Oh, that's true. You know what? Just because we didn't hit the move doesn't mean you didn't do that. So
Is that
yeah. Oh, get the truth out of someone is a move, but I think you make that makes sense. So go ahead, Mark XP. For our Druglord, Mark XP, you personally tackle a messy problem. Why, yes, you definitely do that. Paranoia, Mark XP, when you try to get the truth of someone about their true loyalties.
No, if I exactly. Well, I mean, I don't think I did it on someone. I didn't get a chance to get a hold of Diz, and so I don't think I did that one.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Sorry. And Crooked ISB agent, Mark XP, when you play 2 sides against each other without their knowledge. I mean, yeah, you played the Coruscant against the Pike, and then you used the Coruscant to help out Montbank.
I didn't get what I want, but I still played both 2 sides without them knowing.
To get what you want. So.
Oh, is it? No, it's not. Shush you.
And then Mark XP, you strain your finances to meet your family's immediate needs.
No.
I mean,
that's an absolute no.
It's not. It didn't happen, but I feel like we're on the doorstep of it. So I feel like if you're willing to do that for new family member,
I was gonna say, I
think we're on the doorstep of it, but I don't think it happened this session.
Yeah,
cool. Good. So let's end up with stars and wishes, friends, before we head into the end here. This will help me set up for our 3rd and final session. Now, Anders, I don't see you on the list, so this was your last session, correct?
Yeah.
It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much for playing with us.
It's been really great playing. I'm visiting my family next week, so I won't be able to play, unfortunately.
Well, happy holidays, and thank you again for playing. I just wanted to confirm it's been a real pleasure. I'm so glad that you joined us.
Likewise.
So we'll let you go first with 2 stars and a wish. Stars are positive feedback to your fellow players or talking about particular moments that you really enjoyed. And a wish is something you'd like to see for that last session.
Yeah, it's hard to choose there, but I gotta say, Cheek's scene with his auntie was really great. I really loved that scene. It was both funny and emotional. Credit to Rich and the Keith for that one. That was really good. And I like if I'm only picking one more, I gotta pick.
You know what? It's your last one. If you want to pick 2 more, you can.
Yeah. Okay. Screet's just general menace is really great. I love it. And Mira's this cynical surface, but kind of emotional deep down. I really like that contrast. I thought that was portrayed really well. So kudos to Leandro for that. And yeah, I was kind of trying to find a way for Kras to get out, since I'm not going to be here next time. So either he would die or he would get away, and he got away. So I guess my wish is getting the chance to show up in some other game, maybe. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun to play. So and like I said before, this is the first time I played on the Gauntlet, and it's been a really great experience. Thanks, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Anders. All right, let's jump over to Keith. What's 2 stars and a wish would you like to give?
I wanted to say that I loved Cross, and his interactions with everybody were fabulous. His kind of laconic, short-spoken demeanor, and I feel like we were going to see a Heart of Gold maybe at some point. So I'm sad to not see that unfold. And it was great playing with you, Anders. Hope to get in other games with you. And I was a little nervous coming in today because I realized I spent all of my time with the person who was not coming back in the first session. So I wanted to thank everybody for letting me fall into new threads. And seeing Mira come in, and like the way that both Leandro and Rich work to slot her into the action, I'm excited to see that come in next session, which leads into my wish that I definitely want to be able to interact with her and see the way that those threads kind of get tied together next time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Keith. Leandro, welcome, Sunfell family, to our new Star Wars game, our current Star Wars game.
Why do you let me do this?
Just because it's great. Because both you and I are like able to slot it in, but then apologize and work our way out, so no one gets mad when we Sunfell up a little bit.
It's this and Gauntlet Comics. We were doing the I'm sorry, why do you let me do this? All right, cool. Big star is I have 2 stars. One is again to Anders, because I've not played with yourself, and just I love the fearlessness of just like no, I'm gonna try to shoot my way. Sure, let's go on a blaze of glory. Just like yeah, play into that key. Go ahead, and yeah, just. I didn't realize you weren't gonna be here next week, so I just thought like, wow, that's gutsy. That's playing a character as like a stolen vehicle. And that, just, even the little grace notes, like just the voice, fucking Trandoshans are great. Yeah, and I did really like. Geez, there's a lot to like. Why you only give me 2 stars? Darn it, Rich. I'm just gonna eeny meeny miny mo this because I can't pick. I'm sorry. No, my star is to Chick for just. Jawas are great. I do really love that scene with him and his aunt, and just trying to help out amidst all this carnage, people getting blown up, and in the middle of it still trying to do this poison you didn't know was gonna do, and then just like that little note at the end of like, all right, I got this, waste it, fuck it, I'm just gonna use it. I can't wait to see the consequences of that, for sure. My wish is to interact with the other PCs, because thanks very much for letting me jump in here midstream, so to speak. But I would like to interact. I want that brunch, and
we're gonna open with a brunch. Note to future Rich: open with brunch with Screet and Mira. Definitely. Yep, I 100% agree. Good. Thank you so much, Leandro. And then Tyler, bring us home with 2 stars and a wish for yourself, sir.
All righty. First off, Anders, I loved Grass. I liked our relationship. I thought it was super cool. We interacted a lot, and I was really glad I got to do that. You're first rate. I don't think you're on the Slack, but after the last one, I put up a thing about, that this Anders is a rock star. You are so solid. And there was something to that voice, and I don't even know if it was the microphone that did it. There was a weird reverb in it, and it was just super cool. And I'm glad we had that moment, that kind of ending moment of you leaving that showed we kind of were friends. I think that was really cool. Chicken Rich, my other star of, I loved the ant scene. I thought that was just really nicely played. There was real love and Chick's kind of awkwardness and dancing around. I thought was really nice. I thought that was really cool. The puppet scene was good as well, but that ant scene, that was just exquisite. So phenomenal. My wish, which is also going to be a cheaty bit, I think, because it'll have a star involved in it somewhere along the way. But I kind of want to, my wish is to have that opportunity to set up Chima and the Pike. I have my hopes for that that's going on. So that's sort of my wish, as well as to set that up for something that Mira will profit off of, which goes to a star of, I love Mira, so I can't wait for us to interact. I think that's going to be emotional and cool, and I think that's going to be a ton of fun.
Yep, great game, guys. Thank you all so much. We're right on time, so I will let you go. I'm going to go ahead and stop the YouTube. There we go.